Hello everyone, it's Teferi07. Today I spent most of the day tweaking this JESKAI Energy build and finally got the job right, and the deck feels amazing. I did a trophy with it in the first try. Okay, so going forward, I would change third Rattering Bolt either into third Teferi or third Static Prison. Both of these cards overperformed in this league, and Rattering Bolt also kind of overperformed, but I kind of feel that 2 could be ideal number for this card. So let's check what's going on in this deck. So a lot of new cards. Deck is almost entirely made of new cards. We only have the One Ring, Solitude and Teferi, the Time Raveler that is not MH3, everything else is MH3, which is kind of crazy. Okay, so we got 2 Static Prison. This card is amazing. It's a 1 mana, remove anything. I'm only playing 2 in the main. I would consider adding third. As its card I most often bring from the sideboard, and you just remove any non-land permanent and you only have to pay 1 energy in your upkeep. Okay, but we are playing Wrath of the Skies in this build. This means that we are often planning on doing this on turn 3 or 4, paying 3-4 mana, whatever. So we and at that turn I'm mostly just sacking my Static Prison. On turn I'm planning on casting the Wrath of the Skies. Opponent is getting back their permanent, and then I'm immediately destroying it with Wrath of the Skies. This card is amazing. The sweet thing about this card is you can cascade into it with a Raptor, and it has X in its mana cost, but it doesn't matter. You just have to cast it for 2. And you pay 2 energy to cast it, and then after you cast it, you decide how much energy you want to pay for the Wrath of the Skies ability. And if you have a bunch of energy in your mana pool, you can just pay any amount and just destroy the entire board. It is absurd, the interaction between Wrath of the Skies and Amped Raptor. It's like really great that you can cascade into this card, and it's not a dead card when you cascade into it. Okay, what are dead cards? When you cascade into them, it's definitely Rattering Bolt if there's no creatures or planeswalkers on the field, and also our removal, Galvanic Discharge and Static Prison. So you don't really want to cascade into the removal, of course, if there's just no creatures on opponent's side of the field, but that's just something happens and it's fine, it's completely fine. You have to play removal is key at the moment in this in MH3 metagame. Okay, so this deck has felt really strong, and there's just so much removal and a very efficient removal. We got Static Prison, Galvanic Discharges, Solitudes, Rattering Bolts, and the lot of MH3 decks so far are really creature based, aggro based, depending on their creatures, and this deck can just infinitely kill creatures. And Wrath of the Skies, also another really powerful card that also kills artifacts, enchantments, and just sweeps the entire board. It's really amazing. You have to be careful how you play with Static Prison and the Wrath of the Skies, but it's mostly pretty easy. Okay, so other than that, we got Unstable Amulets. Unstable Amulet in this build is another draw engine that provides card advantage, helps you get to the ring, and also chips in some damage when you're playing cards from exile, which happens when using Amped Raptor or Amulet ability. Okay, so we got Phlage, Titan of Fire's Fury. This is incredibly relevant card for this deck because it provides lifegain, which is very important first in the One Ring deck, but also this is a removal and very strong threat. This deck fills graveyard very easy, and you will always be able to escape it in the early turns, in the turn 4-5. So it's really a menace and a threat that has to be dealt with or kills your opponent pretty quickly. Okay, so this is definitely by far the best energy build I tried so far. and I'm think this deck feels really powerful at the moment. The meta is shifting so quick. Nobody knows what is going to be next week, but it's so incredibly good against the creature strategies, the scam, the Zoo, the new Boros energy deck, everything, the Yagmoth Nadu. It's just very good against all of that. Okay, so let's check out the sideboard. We got more Static Prisons because the card is just insane. We got March of Otherworldly Light, Rest in Pieces, Flusterstorm plus Dumping Sphere as a hate for all the Ruby Storm decks and Nadu decks also. So Flusterstorm, Teferi and Blood Moons, very efficient cards on the sideboard. And okay, so before we go to the gameplay, if you want to support my channel, go out to the cardelk.com. If you make a purchase there using a link from down below in the video description, you are supporting my channel, and they also offer pretty sweet token solution for your paper collection. Check their offer there. Okay, so let's go check out the gameplay. Okay, so match 1, keeping decent hands. I got a couple of removals and Teferi. My opponent starts turn with Stitcher Supplier, and it seems like they're playing Golgari. It's probably like a Warren Soul Trader build, doing Gravecrawler stuff or nightmare stuff with White of the Reliquary. Okay, so I start with Static Prison taking Cytonian Nightmare, and you will immediately see what I meant with how the Static Prison functions in this deck with Wrath of the Skies. Okay, so this is the trick that is very efficient here. So I pay 1 turn for Static Prison ability. I pay the energy in my upkeep, and I'm planning on doing Wrath on my turn 4. But I also want to make that turn really strong for me. So what I do here is bounce the white, and I'm expecting them to just replay the white and pass the turn. This means I can sack my Static Prison. I don't have to pay the energy, don't have to waste the energy for nothing, because I'm planning on playing my Wrath of the Skies. Okay, so now my opponent is getting back their Cytonian Nightmare, which they can't use because it only can be used on sorcery speed. Okay, so I do this now and then get my 4th land and play Wrath of the Skies for 4 mana, paying 2 energy to destroy everything, converted mana cost 2 or less. Okay, opponent ends up having an Undying spell. Well, unfortunate, nothing I can do about that. It is fine, I have Teferi for next turn, it's not a big deal. Okay, so opponent goes in for 7 damage, complicates stuff a bit. They also have Bloodgust, which means they can do the white ability for free. Luckily, my opponent doesn't really have some strong lands in their deck, so they're only finding a Survey land here, getting back their Bloodgust, and I'm bouncing the Teferi, digging for more mass removal, like Wrath of the Skies I just draw here. I want to make my Teferi survive, so I play the Galvanic Discharge to kill the Bloodgust. Opponent replays the white, replays the Cytonian Nightmare. Now I can just plus the Teferi and play the Wrath of the Skies, kill the white, kill the Nightmare, play a land, pass the turn. 6 lands, 1 ring and double Amped Raptor in my hand is like really incredible position to be in. Opponent finds a Bloodgust with haste from their hand to kill my Teferi. That is not a problem. I start off with Amped Raptor. I cascade into Solitude. Also, cascading into Solitude is just sick completely sick. Opponent has Flare of Malice here to kill my Solitude, sack their Bloodgust. Unfortunately, but it is fine. I'm able to play the One Ring and pass the turn with protection. Now I can start drawing more cards and just finding more stuff I need. I go for Amped Raptor again, finding the Unstable Amulet. Now I can play another One Ring, get the protection again, play another fetch and pass the turn. At this point opponent decides to concede the match, and concede the game 1. So let's check out game 2. Let's also check out the sideboarding plan. Okay, bunch of removal in the main, bunch of exile effects, but I want more, so I brought in the static prisons instead of pure damage, trimming some time or the narrative and unstable amulets. Opponent starts with Grist. I really want to kill Grist immediately before it flips or whatever, so I just use Galvanic Discharge. And now Vite of Reliquary is like the best card in their deck, so I'm happy just using a Solitude and passing the turn. Opponent goes for the Grist and they only have one card in their hand right now, and this is what I'm talking about. The Static Prison card is just insane. It's 1 mana, remove anything, which is like really nuts. 1 mana, remove anything. Okay, so I get rid of the Grist and just pass the turn. Opponent finds the Bloodgust and quickly continues attacking me. So I go for Tune the Narrative, get 2 more energy and keep Solitude on top. Solitude on top, of course, a great card to keep there. I get to, I think in this game I made a small mistake. It wasn't relevant, but it was a mistake. I will tell you what happened. Okay, so, okay, here Solitude from the top will be great next turn, just exiling the Bloodgust and then blocking the insect token. Doesn't get much better than that. Okay, so I pay obviously Static Prison cost here, paying the energy. Okay, so passing the turn, opponent surveilling, trying to find more gas. Okay, so here, as I said, I go for the Bloodgust, but they have Flare of Malice again. Unfortunately, killing my Solitude. I have Rest in Peace, so I was able to get rid of that Bloodgust. Cetonian Nightmare doesn't do anything right now, so because of the Rest in Peace, they only have this Bloodgust attacking, so pretty good situation here for me. Okay, so I have 2 Static Prisons at the moment, paying upkeep cost for both of them. At one point, okay, so I think I just used the Wrath here to gain energy, but that was the misplay I was talking about. What the right play was, let both of my Static Prison die, and then I would be able to play Phlage and kill Grist, which would be on 3 counters, and then I would still have a Wraith of the Skies to kill their Bloodgust or other stuff if necessary. I would just have it in hand. I wasted it like just for nothing. It was, I don't understand why I did this. It was like a brain fart, as I like to say. Okay, so a couple of turns, I'm not drawing anything, just top decking lands, fetching. Opponent makes some Grist tokens, start attacking me with them. Okay, so I plus the Teferi and finally get rid of the Grist, but opponent has another one in hand, really a real annoyance, big problem for me right now. Opponent attacking for Teferi and attacking me phase 2. I'm trying to find the right top deck here, and I find Amped Raptor. Amped Raptor gets me the one ring. That is that strength of the Raptor in this build. Okay, so another rest in peace in hand is actually sweet. If I find a Vret in the skies, this means I can play the Vret and then replay the rest in peace from my hand, which could be relevant. Okay, so on 7 life, opponent has a full board, kind of a tricky situation here for me. Opponent gets back their Bloodgust. It's not really, it doesn't matter anymore. At this point, I get additional 2 damage from the Bloodgust, and now my opponent has a bunch of power on their side of the field. It doesn't matter. I just have the ring protection, and I'm just digging, trying to find right pieces I need to turn this around. Just play Wrath of the Skies, clear their board and start gaining some life. That is the plan, or just drawing into another ring. Of course, just 23 cards in my library at this point, so a lot of lands are out, and there are just no bad cards in my library at this point. Like almost every card in my library, it does relevant things. Okay, so yeah, here I start turn with a Phlage, killing the Orcish Bowmaster, and then doing the one ring ability. I find the Teferi Time Raveler, which is exactly what I need right now, enabling me to replay the one ring again, get the protection. Also, in the meantime, I took care of the Bowmaster, so that didn't do me problems for the using of one ring ability. Okay, so opponent kills my Teferi. They can't kill me. So I get to draw more cards with one ring, and I have another Teferi here. So this means again I can go for the one ring bounce, replay the ring, but now I can also just play other stuff. Okay, so I go for the Amped Raptor, finding the Unstable Amulet. I still have mana. I can play other stuff, but decide to go for another Amped Raptor, getting the Static Prison, now exiling the Grist. That was a good piece. And yeah, now slowly I'm stabilizing. Opponent here attacks to get rid of my Teferi, but now when I untap, I'm really taking over this game. I have a bunch of removal, a bunch of life gain. I had a consideration here to just kill my own rest in peace, then be able to escape Phlage, but I decided against that and just play the Phlage to gain 3 life and play my Solitude to start gaining more life and getting my opponent down to 0, of course. Okay, so here Phlage gains me 3. I have a bunch of removal, and I start attacking my opponent. Okay, so opponent goes for the Bloodgust. I kill their big orc army token. They go attack with everything. I exile the Bloodgust, block the insect, kill another insect, let this one too, and gain 3 life. Now my opponent doesn't really have anything else on their side of the field, nothing much in hand too. So now 7 cards in my hand, in my library, sorry, not in hand, 7 cards in library, so that is why I'm not using the ring or whatever. I just went for the Unstable Amulet. Unstable Amulet chips in at some additional damage at this point, so I played another ring to get protection, and opponent concedes. That is the match. Let's check out match 2. Okay, so match 2 I was playing against Caleb. Let's check out how that went. They played Convoke, mono white Convoke. Okay, so they start with a Guide of Souls, starting first of deck. Their deck is like really aggressive, but my deck is also so just very good against their deck. But in this game, they were playing first, and I had two tap lands, which was pretty huge deal. Okay, so I was able to Galvanic Discharge the Spirit and remove Guide of Souls, so I was still pretty good situation here. Opponent plays Collector's Cage, it continues attacking, and the big problem for me here was that I missed a land drop there. That missed land drop costed me this game 1, and they were able to somehow find a third creature for this Collector's Cage, and I had Wrath of the Skies, but I wasn't able to kill their stuff because it had Indestructible from the Emeria Call. Emeria Call actually gives Indestructible to their stuff, so that was the reason why I died there. Okay, so that was game 1. Let's check out game 2. Okay, so pretty good hand, I would say. I have Wrath of the Skies, Solitude, Reiterating Bolt. Okay, so the Reiterating Bolt card, you will see just how good it was in this match. It is the idea of this card is in the early turns it is just 2 mana removal, but in the later turns it can be here. In the later turns you often will have just excess energy available to you, and you will be just have 6 energy laying there, and you will be able to reinforce twice on Reiterating Bolt and just copy the spell twice and just deal 9 damage to different targets. It can really get crazy. Okay, so here I play the One Ring, and I still have the Wrath of the Skies and Galvanic Discharge in my hand. Opponent digging for gas, don't find it, and this is like really good situation here. I keep March on top, Galvanic Discharge the Guide, and just take the Meme Knight for a turn because I have just so much of the good stuff here. Opponent plays the Ajani and passes the turn. That is like nowhere near enough. Okay, so I'm planning on going for the Wrath of the Skies. So in this situation, you just let your prison die and then go for the Wrath of the Skies. It's amazing how well this card plays, how well these two cards play together. Okay, so you can see here opponent actually went for the White Flare, protecting their 2 creatures. So I was not able to kill them, but I was able to play Amped Raptor, get Solitude on the field. Opponent plays the Oscillate Pride and the Collector's Cage, and fortunately they don't have ability to play their exiled card immediately. So I get to untap and play bunch of my removal. Okay, so I go for the Static Prison here. I take the Collector's Cage. I take their Collector's Cage, play the Bolt, just kill the Oscillate Pride. I have 4 energy lying here. So I have energy cards in my hand. This means I can just play Static Prison for nothing, gets the 2 energy, and then replicate Reiterating Bolt twice. This means I get to kill 3 targets for just 2 mana investment. This can be really huge. Okay, so here I cast my Reiterating Bolt, copying twice, killing the entire board from the opponent, and opponent concedes. That is game 2. Let's check out game 3, and also let's check out the sideboarding plan for this matchup. Okay, so bringing in all the removals, removing Teferis. Teferis don't have much to bounce here, and Unstable Amulets are kind of slow. for this matchup. So trimming on those, very easy to bring in additional removal from the side. And yeah, okay, so opponent goes for Ajani plus Memnite. They have Windbrisk Heights, so kind of a tricky situation. Let's see what happens. Opponent plays Collector's Cage, and they have Ornithopter, so they can go for Collector's Cage immediately. Fortunately, they did not find a Miracle but Ajani, so this means I was able to play the Wrath of the Skies, clear their board, everything except for the Ajani. So opponent makes a cat, plays Warden, plays Ocelot Pride, does the ability, passes the turn. Okay, so as you can see here, I played a Static Prison, taking the token. Static Prison works great with tokens, and again, copying Rattering Bolt 3 times because I had just 6 energy lying there, and killing the Ajani, flipped Ajani, the Warden, and the Ocelot Pride, all 3 creatures with just this 1 card for 2 mana. That is like really crazy, and that ends my opponent game plan, and that is the match. Okay, so that is match 2. Let's check out match 3. Okay, so here I have a turn 1, turn the narrative. I can get 2 energy, which means I can potentially have very strong Amped Raptor on turn 3. Opponent goes for Totsis. In response, I go turn the narrative. And I just want to say it's really funny how strong the Phlage is in the Scam matchup. Is just really disgusting. Okay, so I actually find the Phlage and gain 3, drain them for 3, put Phlage into my graveyard, which means I will be able to cast this guy on turn 4, which is just amazing, just incredibly powerful. Okay, I decide to just play the Wraith, so I have more cards in my graveyard for Phlage. And here I go for the Amped Raptor attack. Opponent plays the Bowmaster, kills the Raptor. Then I just escape the Phlage, kill the Orcish Bowmasters, gain 3, and the opponent still has to deal with it. Okay, I wasn't... yeah. I should have casted Rattering Bolt before attacking. That was a big mistake. I actually forgot my opponent could be playing Necrodominance. I forgot that card could exist in this deck, so now suddenly I was in a big problem after a game that I was just winning super easy. Yeah, now my opponent has Necrodominance. They can draw a bunch of cards, and I decide to go for the Solitude, and my hope to win right now was this Rattering Bolt in my hand. If I draw cards that give me energy, if I draw it now, I would have 7 energy, which means I would be able to play Rattering Bolt for 9 damage, basically stopping my opponent from drawing cards for the rest of the game. And unfortunately here opponent has Grief and Sheldred, which is just disgusting. And yeah, that seals the game. Let's check out game 2. I was like so super close to winning this one, but then did a small mistake, and then everything went downhill. Okay, I got the Prison, I got Discharge, I got Solitude, Rattering Bolt, just hand full of removal. Postponing stuff until I find a Ring and the Phlage, and these cards are just very good in this matchup. Okay, so this game, both of these games, 2 and 3, were like really crazy. You will see. Opponent had Necrodominance from turn 3 in games 2 and 3, and I was still able to just win somehow. I guess the One Ring is stronger than Necrodominance, but it was really amazing games. Okay, so opponent plays the Lily of the Veil, pretty hard to get rid of here. because it has a 4 toughness immediately, so I can't. I'm missing 1 energy to bolt it, double bolt it with Rattering Bolt. So I discard the bolt, keep the land and Solitude in my hand, so I can just play the Solitude next turn and hopefully start attacking this Lily. Okay, passing the turn, opponent surveils. They playing Ruckus Theater, but I didn't actually see any red cards, I think. Okay, and here they find Necrodominance, unfortunately for me, and they have Lily on 6, so pretty hard position. Okay, so I exiled their Orc Army token, and I'm able to attack Lily and finally find that 1 ring I was hoping for. So now they have Necrodominance, but I have the 1 ring, and it seems that just in a long run 1 ring just beats the Necrodominance. Okay, opponent draws so many cards, like they draw 10 cards here, gaining bunch of life with Sheldred. I have Phlage in the graveyard, I have Raptor. Before tapping the ring, I go for the Raptor, getting the Static Prison, taking the Sheldred. The card is just so insanely powerful. 1 mana taking any permanent, and I really care most about the Sheldred. I don't really care about the Necrodominance. Here I cast the Phlage, finished the Lily, and yeah, now my opponent is skipping the draw step, playing double Doughty. I don't really care that much about this. They draw 10 cards there also, but have to discard most of them, killing my Phlage unfortunately again. This is fine though. I'm playing Teferi here. I can bounce 1 Doughty, kill a 2nd Doughty, play the Amped Raptor, continue attacking opponent with Solitude. Also finding another Phlage was sweet here, getting 3 damage to face, 3 damage with Solitude. That is a lot of damage actually next turn. Opponent pays a bunch of life and they're down to 6, then gain 4, get back to 10. But I'm drawing a bunch of cards with the 1 ring, they can't really prevent that. Okay, so as you can see, again I let the Static Prison die when it's convenient for me. I let it die, then I play Wrath of the Skies just to clear their entire board, even killing the Necrodominance. They try to use the Undying spells, but it doesn't work because they have Necrodominance on the field, and Necrodominance prevents them from getting back into play. So opponent realizes that and then concedes the game. Let's check out game 3, and also let's check out the sideboarding plan for this one. Really strong plan against a scam. As you can see, I boarded out all my turned narratives here. They're bad into the Bowmasters and 1 Unstable Amulet to make room for additional removal from my side. Okay, so here I mulligan to 5, kind of a hard mulligan, but decent cards here. I go for Amped Raptor, and unfortunately I hit the removal on the empty board. What can you do? Sometimes that happens. Opponent goes for Totsis, taking my Phlage, but that is totally fine actually. I don't have anything against that. Actually, I can just cast a Phlage on turn 4 from the graveyard as a 6/6. That is incredible, but instead of that I draw into the 1 ring, so I just rather play that. Phlage would also be good, putting my opponent down to 8. It's kind of hard for them to kill, and it deals a bunch of damage next turn. Okay, so here opponent again draws a bunch of cards, but I also have the 1 ring on my side, so it's an even game. And it seems that like the 1 ring is actually beating the Necrodominance, in this matchup. It's because my removals are just so much efficient that they're like Wrath of the Skies is like really truly insane card, and yeah. Okay, so I go for the Doughty here. My opponent unfortunately has I wanted to tap the ring on my turn before they can play Bowmaster or whatever, so I let them discard a card from my hand. That is fine. I'm drawing 4 more on my turn, and yeah, I'm just drawing all the good cards here. Everything is just so good, and I go for that Wrath of the Skies again. This card is just phenomenal. Does so much job, and I clear their board, play my tap land. I'm on 12 life. I have Phlage in my hand, the ring on the field. It's just incredible position for me. Opponent discards another Phlage and just concedes. Of course, there's just nothing they can do here. So that is the match, and that is match 3. Let's check out match 4. Some really long and grindy games, but this deck is just so good and grinding, and it's good because it has very efficient removal and one ring. Okay, so Amped Raptor turn the narrative. Unstable Amulet help to get you to the one ring, then one ring takes over, and you have these amazing cards like Static Prison, Wrath of the Skies, Amped Raptor. Okay, opponent here just kills my land, but here is what I'm trying to do in this deck. I am trying to play the Amped Raptor and find the one ring. That is the point of this deck, and here it is. Amped Raptor finds the one ring, and it is game over. Yeah, the game just ends now. I have 2 mana, 1 ring on the field. I have bunch of basics in my deck. There's just White Orchid Phantom is not doing anything against me, and opponent immediately concedes. Their deck I just don't see their deck beating this deck. It's just pretty impossible. Okay, so so let's check out the sideboarding plan. I didn't actually feel like I need almost anything. Just trimmed 1 turn the narrative, one Rattering Bolt for 2 marches. That's it, in case they have some weird sideboard tech. Okay, here I actually just exiled their land. I think that was the best play here. Just plan on playing the Wrath and kill their land. I think that is by far the best plan here, and I only have 3 mana on the next turn, but I have 2 energy in my pool. This means I can play the Wrath of the Skies, pay 2 energy and clear the entire board, and it is like really impossible for my opponent from this situation to do much. This deck is just built to destroy. This deck that plays just creatures, and yeah, there is just no chance. Okay, opponent plays Unstable Amulet, and they have another Guide of the Souls. That is not a problem. I decide to play the Galvanic Discharge, so on my turn I can go for the Phlage. Yeah, I should have actually just played the Phlage and killed the Guide. That would probably be better, but it's okay. I have a bunch of good cards in my hand, attacking my opponent down to 11. They go for like Dash Ragavan, but I have Solitude here, and to exile Ragavan, and yeah, I also have a Lethal Swingback. So that is it. Opponent concedes, and that is the match. Very quick, match 4 at least. And now let's check out the match 5. Match 5, the trophy match, was by far the hardest. Opponent playing the Nadu build. And Nadu is a pretty strong deck. It's kind of pretty insane how strong sometimes it gets. Okay, so here I go for the Survey Land. And in retrospective, I'm not sure, maybe I should have gone for the Shuko here immediately. Okay, so I go for Amped Raptor here, taking the token, and now I didn't remove the Shuko, so this enables my opponent to get 2 cards here with Nadu. They decide to block my Raptor, so I was able to bolt it, take Shuko and pass the turn. But yeah, unfortunately for me, opponent has another Nadu in their hand on the following turn. So again, I use that tech when I sack the Static Prison and then play the Wraith and clear the entire board, passing the turn. And after killing 2 Nadus, I thought that I'm for sure like good now, but my opponent actually finds third Nadu plus Outrider and Core, which and somehow finds lethal in the same turn. They played Summoners. They played fully full combo build with Summoners Pact, Grazers, 4 Colony Gardens, bunch of Dryad Arbors. So they were able to do it, and yeah, just did a bunch of Outrider abilities until they were able to play Tassa's Oracle and win with the Tassa Oracle ability. So that was the game. Okay, so I lost the game 1. Let's check out game 2. Okay, the full combo build Nadu is pretty tricky to play against. There's a lot of decks that just can't do anything. Okay, so here I trimmed some Turn the Narratives, some Unstable Amulets, Teferis. All these cards are pretty slow. Also Rattering Bolts. I had other removal. Okay, so I go for a basic end of turn, play the Foundry and play the Blood Moon. Opponent didn't expect it. Didn't expect it so much that they didn't even fetch the basic. Okay, so here I was able to play the Amped Raptor, and now I can start attacking. Also, kind of surprised me that opponent is also playing the One Ring. Didn't really expect that. But yeah, they played the One Ring, and they were now able to start drawing some cards. Okay, opponent draws more, plays Shuko, passes the turn. Here I find Static Prison, taking the One Ring and putting Phlage into the yard. I can now replay the Phlage next turn. Also have Wrath of the Skies. I did not play the Wrath because that would kill my Static Prison and get their ring back. So instead I played the Phlage, deal damage to them to face, put them down on 8, and I have a like very good attack next turn. Okay, and now I did a mistake. I think what I was supposed to do here is play the Wraith of the Skies, just use 2 mana and kill this Shuko. That was a big mistake. Very big mistake, and I had to do this and then just play the Damping Sphere. That would be the perfect turn, and this was pretty big misplay, and opponent was able to draw more cards, actually find that forest they were looking for, Boseiju, my Blood Moon, and now they had a Nadu and a bunch of mana open. I had Damping Sphere on my side of the field. Actually, in the game 2, I boarded in 2 Damping Spheres, as you can see here. But in the game 3, I boarded in all 4 Damping Spheres. I did a little difference there between game 2 and 3. I think that was better. Okay, so here I start the turn with Galvanic Discharge on Nadu. In response, my opponent goes for Chord of Calling, finding for 1. Finding the Grazer. Grazer now puts land into the field, triggering Springheart and Nantuko, getting them 2 blockers to survive a turn here. But I was able to play Wrath the Skies for 1, pay 1 energy, kill all their tokens and the grazers and the Shuko and just clear the board for attack, a lethal attack this turn with Phlage and Amped Raptor. So that was a win for me in game 2, and let's check out game 3. Okay, there was a pretty low chances for my opponent to win this one even at the start of the match, because they only had 5 minutes on their clock. Okay, so I board, as you can see now, my sideboarding plan. I removed all the amulets, all the Teferis, 2 bolts, because I have like other instant speed removal and bunch of removal here, and I needed some slots for damping spheres. I still left 1 bolt in the deck. Okay, here I go, Phlage, put Phlage in the yard. I'm very close to playing it next turn, but my opponent finds the One Ring, and it is fine. Of course, the One Ring is drawing them a bunch of cards, but at least I have a damping sphere on my side of the field. Okay, so now I can, I think best thing for me is to here exile the Nadu and pass the turn. Opponent doesn't have another Nadu, but they have Springheart Natuko to make some instant tokens start attacking. Okay, so here now finally I was able to cast that Phlage. Phlage is pretty big here. They can't really kill it. And I can attack with it every turn. My opponent finds a solution for my damping sphere there. Exiles the damping sphere, plays another One Ring, and yeah, but I also find the One Ring on my own, and they are very far from killing me on combo. So the One Ring giving me protection from One Ring giving me protection from the damage, and I go for a Nadu in response, but they have Otawara to bounce it back to their hand, save it, play the Shuko, and actually play the Nadu, and they have combo and a bunch of creatures on the field. They would most definitely be able to win from this pot, but at this point they only have 30 seconds left on their clock, and this combo takes for about like 6-7 minutes. My opponent even asked me to concede the match, but it was my trophy match, and it's just opponent needed another 10 minutes to win on combo, so that wasn't an option. And yeah, that is it. That is the entire trophy league with this in the first attempt with this tweaked build. I played a very different version at start. Didn't go well. Then I spent some time thinking about list, did the tweaks, and then went to the league, and it was absolute blast. The deck just performed very strong, felt like it can win out of impossible situations, which you also saw here. This card, Wrath of the Skies, is just so incredible, and Rattling Bolt was just so sweet in that matchup against Convoke. In two games, killing, copying it 2 times, dealing 9 damage for 2 mana. It is really insane. But as I said before at introduction, I would cut the 3rd Rattling Bolt and either add like 3rd Static Prison or 3rd Teferi Raveler, or just like 4th Wrath of the Skies, as this card is just so insane. That are the options. Maybe like just 4th Wrath of the Sky is best option, because this card is like really crazy powerful, and I'm just so happy that it even works well when you cascade it into it with Amped Raptor. That is just such a sweet interaction, and it's a really powerful One Ring deck, and really best deck that I was able to come up with that can play this interaction of cascading turn 2 into Amped Raptor into the One Ring, which is just amazing. And you saw that happening once there. We have 4 turn the narratives, 4 discharges, 4 static prisons. These cards enable you to do the crazy stuff with Raptor on turn 2 and turn 3, and yeah, that is it. Okay, so in my opinion, one flex slot in the main, as I said, it can be 4 threat, 3rd Teferi, 3rd static prison, or something else. That or even like 3rd Rattling Bolt is fine, but I think that is a flex slot for me in this build. Sideboard is also just so good, but it definitely can be modified if needed. 4 damping spheres are kind of must at the moment. There's like Ruby Storms, there's like Nadu decks, there's like Eugene's Labyrinth, Tron decks, Flusterstorm also for the same reasons. 3rd Teferi either in the main or in the side. Blood Moon, I would maybe consider adding 3rd Moon to the side. If you add like 3rd Teferi main or like 3rd Prison main, then bring the 3rd Moon to the side. Rest in peace, like phenomenal. Graveyard Hate, I only plan to bring it in the matchups where it's just super relevant against opponent's deck, because it also hates on the Phlage, Titan's Fire's Fury. But as you saw in that, when the Rest in Peace is just relevant, it wins you the games, and you still get to do the ability of Phlage, so I think that is fine. But of course, other pieces of Graveyard Hate will work too. And that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe, check video description for the link of thecardark.com. If you make a purchase there, remember you're supporting my channel. And also check out the dictionary in the video description, my profile where I'll be making cyber guides for this deck, for the Eldrazi deck, Eldrazi Tron deck, and making articles every week about some sweet brews and builds I plan. And that's it. Okay, so again, thank you for watching. That's it for today, and goodbye.